Leadership Unveiled, a podcast series that explores the minds and the journeys of the pioneering leaders, entrepreneurs shaping up the business world. I'm your host, Neha Jagnani, and today's conversation is one rooted in experience, legacy, and quiet strength that comes from building over decades. In a world where leadership is often measured by speed and scale, there is something deeply grounded about leaders who have seen cycles change, institutions evolve, and responsibilities deepen with time. Today's guest represents that rare blend of financial discipline, institutional wisdom, and creative depth. Joining us today is Mr. Jogendra Singh. Jogendra is the president and group CFO and board member of Hero Enterprise, which includes companies engaged in steel manufacturing, real estate, insurance broking operations, not for profit foundations, and investment office. He was the first employee for Daimler India for setting up Bharat Benz Truck and Bus plant in India. He is an honorary doctorate and guest faculty to ISB, IIM Lucknow, Sambalpur, IIT Dharwad, IMT, and Pokhra University, and is also a speaker at various CXO conferences. He was featured as one of the most influential Punjabis of the world by IPCC and also by Punjabi TV Channel PTC. He has been awarded multiple CFO awards, including CFO of the Year and Great Asian Leaders Award. Jogendra, thank you so much for joining. It's a pleasure having you.
Thank you. Thank you, Neha. It's wonderful to be invited for this discussion. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Look forward to this exciting podcast, Jogendra. So to begin with, you have spent nearly 4 decades across different roles and, businesses within the Hero ecosystem. So I want to know what are some leadership lessons that have stayed with you, constant throughout all these transitions?
Yes. I think 4 decades, when you talk about, sounds like a long time, until you truly realize that leadership fundamentals barely change.
Right.
Titles change, industries change, technology definitely changes, but people don't change that much. When I talk about the hero ecosystem, that is based on some very fundamental principles, and some of these are completely non-negotiable.
Right.
These values have been very clearly mentioned in the book written by Mr. Sunil Munjal, our chairman, in The Making of Hero, of which I did the Hindi translation as Hero Ki Kahani. In the chapter Munjal School of Management, we talk about excellence, and excellence starts from small behaviors, not any particularly large, event. Self-reliance, the kind of ancillary, ecosystem that Hero created.
Right.
Innovation, and we always, used to talk about best practice or next practice, as somebody said. So to give you an example, we had started just in time a JIT system in Hero Cycle, even when this word has not been coined, and that was specifically discussed with us by our potential JV partner at that point in time, Honda, when they came and saw the JIT in operation. So we are always, looking at this best practice or next practice. People relationships, again, has been completely very, very important for us. Leadership and teamwork, integrity, transparency, and most of all humility.
Right.
We have always truly believed that we should lead with love. And if you really ask me, I have summarized this in one word acronym, and I call it pride. When I say passion, respect, integrity, discipline, and enterprise. That's how the hero ecosystem I would truly describe. Some lessons during this entire journey have remained with me. The first is trust and credibility, because credibility is absolutely very, very important. Leadership, your balance sheet is trust.
Right.
You build it slowly, but you can destroy it in a quarter. So that's something that you must always remember. Next, clarity beats charisma in a way. So teams don't need very charismatic, motivating speeches every morning. They need very clear priorities and consistent decisions. And third, humility, I have always believed, is a strategic asset. I have seen within the hero ecosystem and beyond that, when I had worked specifically within hero system, when I say sarve bhavantu sukhina, sarve santu niramayaha, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kasyat dukbhag bhavet, I've truly seen this being operated in its truest sense in hero ecosystem.
Sure. Thank you so much. Very well articulated, Jogendra. I loved how you started by saying titles change, industries change, even technology changes, but people don't. Also, the acronym of PRIDE, which is passion, respect, integrity, discipline, and enterprise, it actually says that while the whole world and businesses are driven by numbers, it's also humility and the human connect that really plays a critical role in any leadership form. So there is trust and
Lead with love.
yes, yes,
Yes.
yes. Clarity and, of course, humility, last but not the least. So, thank you so much. Moving on to my next question, Jogendra, which is having worked across manufacturing, investment, and diverse business, verticals, how do you see the role of CFO being evolved, beyond just finance?
So I always, say that the role of CEO has not gone through a transformation. It has actually gone through what I call a metamorphosis. You can't even recognize it the way it used to be 4 decades ago, or 3 decades ago, or even 2 decades ago, for that matter. In last 1 decade, it has truly went into a metamorphosis. So from financial gatekeeper, we have moved to the strategic co-pilot with CEO and a catalyst. So I really see it in a way that the CFOs have moved from process view to a business view.
Right.
They have moved from providing information to providing insights. They're wearing multiple hats, so there's a lot of versatility that has come into the CFOs. The base task of operational efficiency has always remained. That's our bread and butter in a way.
Right.
And the transformation of mindset, of technology. So all of this has come together. So earlier, when we used to talk about our role or success would mean accurate reporting, cost control, or some kind of a compliance discipline. Today, it actually also means that you have to look at the capital allocation strategy. You have to look at the risk and architect in such a way, how do you really mitigate it? ESG has been a big, issue in sustainability. Even though my view on ESG has always been that, ESG is in our DNA, and I, really talk about in a way that, we used to say, Mata Bhumi Putro Ham Prithivyaha, right?
Right.
Or we say Pavan Guru, Pani Pita, Mata Dharat Mahat. So we are talking about air, water, and earth. And we have been talking it for 10,000 years. That's what we are talking in ESG or in social also, in a similar way. Sangat Chadvam, Samvadadvam, Samvu Manansi Jantam. We have been talking about all should work, alike. We should think alike. And, even governance, if you really go back even 1,000 years during the reign of Chandragupta Maurya and you look at Chanakya, he talked about Arthashastra and specifically on the governance, the book or the code that he has written are completely relevant even today. So he talks about tax system about 1,000 years ago, and he said, Balishat bhagam mudratya napasya rakshitah praja. That means, you give me 1/6 of your income and I will take care of you.
Right.
The king says that. So that means we are talking about 1/6 of tax, 16% tax. And I would be very happy today if I get back to 16% tax. We pay 45% tax. So that one narrative builder is another specific skill set that has come for them. We talk about story building, kind of a narrative building for investors, boards, etc. And technology, of course, you have to be a data champion for technology. So we have to, the modern CFO, if I really talk about, has to speak multiple languages, so to say. He'll have to speak finance, he'll have to speak strategy. And through strategy, a value creation, in my view, should be the underline and bold and italics, word in that sense. The technology, risk, and talent, of course, is there.
Sure.
So we may still love our spreadsheets, so to say, but we also love scenarios, simulations, storytelling, and value creation. That's very, very important.
Sure, sure. Beautifully put, Jogendra, from financial gatekeepers to catalyst, from giving the team a process view to a business view, from just giving information to now giving insights. Truly, the role of finance has evolved. Right, also from the compliance discipline, it's not just that. It is strategy, it is forecasting, it is more into risk management. So, last but not the least, narrative building and storytelling has really become crucial for finance leaders in today's times. So, thank you so much for putting it together. My next question, Jogendra, is you were closely involved in building Daimler Greenfield venture in India. So, what does building something from the ground up teach you that established organizations often overlook?
Well, that's like rearing a child. A mother would know much better. So when I say greenfield, it truly reminds you that organizations are living systems. These are not just org charts.
Right.
So building from the ground teaches you lessons that PowerPoints can never. In a way, when you're there, and when I was there as employee number one for Daimler, so it was like I was there from Mantri to Santri. So you were counseling and you were doing every odd thing. You also learn very, very early that culture is designed early, not written later. And culture is led by people. We all understand, Peter Drucker said, culture eats strategy for breakfast. So that stilling right kind of culture on day one is extremely important.
Right.
You also learn, yes, of course, so you also learn that processes must enable speed, not create bureaucracy. And again, that is very important, especially when you're creating something, that you cannot bring bureaucracy. You have to take decisions. Even if these decisions prove wrong, you learn to fail fast and keep moving and still continue making decisions. You learn that talent selection is very, very pricey. In a greenfield setup, every hire disproportionately shapes the outcome. That's again very important. Also, you learn the resilience, you learn adaptability. Nothing goes exactly as planned. And I won't call it a failure. That's a reality. And that's where agility comes into play. You have to really be very agile to understand what is the trend, where we are going, where a decision is taking us. Has it resulted in something that we should be going with or closing that? So fail fast, as I said. So not only the agility, but also entrepreneurial ownership and hunger with starting with nothing kind of a thing. When you start with nothing, you have that hunger, that fire, in you. You'll have to really keep that. So I'll give you an example. So while we were doing this, we are creating some kind of we are talking about innovation. And we were spending almost about 1,200 crores in R&D because we wanted to bring a new concept, a new truck into India, and we needed to adapt it to Indian conditions. We could not sell what sells in Germany because the price point would be different. We are looking for value. So we went into the MOU with the government of Tamil Nadu. And while we were looking at the MOU, we found that there are two categories of MOU. One is mega, and the other one was ultra mega scheme. So in mega scheme, there is a threshold limit, and we were falling in that threshold limit. We were not falling in ultra mega because ultra mega gives you much more incentives. So we were trying to find out, is there a way that we can fall for, go for ultra mega? And while the investment was being calculated, R&D, even though it was a very large component, was not being taken into consideration. And I found in the policy for industries for Tamil Nadu, they had only one line that R&D shall be promoted within the state. We just took that line and negotiated with the government and finally they accepted. So from mega, we went to ultra mega, and you could just understand that from 14 years of refunds, we went to 21 years of refund of the taxes, sales taxes, GST, etc. So, and there are multiple more. And similarly, we also went on this R&D itself to Department of Scientific and Industrial Research, and we got it approved from them, despite the fact that there was an internal uh, sort of people, who didn't want that to be taken because they thought it could get leaked, etc. So we sat down with DSIR, and we got 200% tax break on that based on the approval from DSIR. So actually speaking, if I really look at it, both of these put together, a large part of the venture or investment came back to us. So these are the kind of mindset that you have to really think, and this comes when you're working in a green field, your backs are to the wall, and you have to really work in those kind of situations.
Oh, great insights, Jogendra, coming in from someone who has built it, very early on. Some of the insights I'll just reiterate for audience's benefit, which is culture is designed early, is what is the takeaway, and is led by people. Speed is important, but not bureaucracy. You can learn to fail faster in the process. Talent selection was pricey, is what you said, and resilience, adaptability, and agility, along with ownership, plays a critical role. And thank you for ending with that examples, of the R&D. Um, Moving on to the next question, Jogendra, which is you engage actively with academic institutions and young professionals. So I want to know, what advice do you often find yourself giving to the next generation of finance leaders?
So my first advice always, when I speak with all these students, is that there is some fundamental truths and teachings which are in our scriptures, which you must always understand and remember and keep with you. So I'll give one. You say, Vidya dadati vinayam, vinayat yati patratam, patratvat dhanam apnoti dhanat dharma tata sukham. That means education gives you humility, which builds capability, that helps you earn money, which must be used for right causes, and that gives you everlasting peace and true happiness. So one, don't chase designations, build capabilities. That's something which is very, very important, because skills age slower than titles, right? Second, I think, is, I talked about it earlier also, learn business, not just finance. This is very important. धंधे की समझ है कि नहीं? Margins live in operations, not in Excel. So that's something which you have to really understand that. Develop judgment. Our entire businesses are based on the decisions that we take, big or small. So you must learn how to take decision. Now, this is something which is not normally taught in business schools also, how to take decisions. So decisions are based on the judgment that we have. Judgment, of course, comes from knowledge. And knowledge is not only the bookish knowledge, but also uh, ecosystem around that knowledge. So based on that, you learn how to develop the judgment. I think that is truly very, very important. Data can help you take decisions, but judgment will help you make them. Next, I think is very important for today, as I talk about, is technology. So technology is, you must embrace technology. And I think this is, youngsters have adopted AI and other things, much, much better than the CFOs have.
Right.
And I ask CFOs always that, must look at AI. Otherwise, you won't be out of job, but we always say somebody who has competence in AI will only kick you out of the job. So therefore, you must uh, definitely learn the technology. Also, build your ethical muscle memory, which I call integrity. And integrity to me is much bigger than financial honesty. Hmm? And this must come from your habits. So the integrity is to yourself. Integrity is when you put your hand on your heart and ask yourself what you're doing. Is this the best you can do? Is this that should be done, must be done? Is it in the best interest of the organization? Are you hurting somebody intentionally or unintentionally? You would know what needs to be done. And then there is another thing, which is a skill which all of us are losing. And I say, listen, 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 listen. We listen not to react, but we listen to understand. We not only hear, ye must learn how to listen and listen to understand. At the end of the day, lead with love is where you should really go. And there are a couple of, couplets I always, tell them. I say your career is a marathon, not a quarterly earnings call. So, जिंदगी एक मुसलसल सफर है. मुसलसल is continuous. Life is a continuous journey. जिंदगी एक मुसलसल सफर है. जो मंजिल पर पहुंचो तो मंजिल बढ़ा दो. और दूसरी बात, हमने जितनी दूर तक देखा वही हमारी सीमा रेखा. सो लर्न टू थिंक बिग, लर्न टू थिंक फार, learn to have that vision in you. A leader is shaped by vision only and not by anything else. So this is normally I just speak to finance leaders always and almost every few days of every week I'm speaking at one or the other place. So this is something that has been my constant message.
Sure, truly, so many invaluable advices, Jogendra. Be it don't chase designation, building capabilities is crucial. Learning business and not just finance, because now it has become a business enabler function. Development of judgments, you got to develop that skill because not everything is going to give you the right platform to make decisions, but it's your judgment which helps you, the intuition, even when you have data in front of you. Technology is to be embraced. Integrity becomes key. Listening and not reacting. And last but not the least, life is a continuous journey. So thank you so much. So now, Jogendra, we are going to switch gears and get into this quick rapid fire round. This activity is just to get to know you a little better. So are you ready?
Yeah.
All right. So,
Yep.
okay. So here we go. One word that defines your leadership journey.
I would say evolution and always be in the learning mode.
Sure. A habit that has helped you stay consistent over the years.
I think structured reflection is something that have kept me, reviewing decisions, not just outcomes. That's what keeps you consistent.
Wonderful. One early career lesson you still follow.
Uh, Credibility compounds. The trust is very, very important. Protect it mercilessly.
Sure. Numbers or intuition? What guides you more?
I always say, in God we trust. Everyone else has to come with data and evidence. So numbers inform, intuition decides.
Okay. Okay. Sure. One misconception people have about CFOs.
People think that we are there here to control costs, but I always talk about creating value. I think that is very important, and somewhere a couple of days ago, I just learned, I heard somebody saying CFOs have become CEEO, so which is Chief Everything Else Officer. So that really summarizes how we look at creating value and being catalyst to people.
Sure. Sure. A book that influenced your thinking.
And the first one I think that I read when I was very young was How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. I think this is one book that builds basic values in you,
Right.
and I have really read it multiple times. And then later on, I think Good to Great was one, Jim Collins, which gave me good insights.
Sure. Sure. So music or silence when you need to think.
Oh, well, when I need to think, then it's has to be silence.
Okay.
Clarity needs some space.
Sure. One quality you value most in people you work with.
I always say ownership mindset with integrity.
Okay. Teaching or learning, what do you enjoy more today?
I think learning. I'm a Sikh, and Sikh, by a very definition, is a learner. The literal meaning of Sikh is the learner. So
Oh,
I'm a learner.
sure. Last one, a thought or line that keeps you grounded.
So I always say focus on controllables. And otherwise, always say Babe de full kirpa. So the God is always with you. But focus on controllables. Don't worry about what's going to happen next.
Sure, sure. Thank you so much. This brings us to the end of this rapid fire, Jogendra. It was quick and sharp. And thank you so much on behalf of HRAI for sharing your insights and perspectives so candidly today. And it was truly shaped by decades of, institution building, leadership, and also creative depth. It was personally very enriching for me to host you today. So thank you so much for your time and insights.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so
It's
much.
really wonderful for me as well. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you, sir.